This is Madison Paff's voice lesson number 2. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is kind of a review of posture.
Okay.
So we talked a lot about posture last time. Do you remember anything that we talked about?
You like stand like with your legs shoulder length apart.
Uh-huh.
And you kind of have your shoulders a little farther back than maybe like typical.
Perfect.
And then just like the way you breathe is getting more through your stomach than through your, or with your moving your shoulders.
Exactly.
So.
Yep, you pretty much have it. Yeah, let's just, yeah, you did better than that. You're doing it. I don't have anything to teach you. Okay. So yeah,
Implementing it is another story.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so perfect. Shoulders, or feet right underneath your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back. A good trick for this is if you put your arms out and your thumbs, just like make a thumbs up sign, and you twist your thumbs back. Do you see how your shoulders kind of relax back into that position?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but yeah. And so that's kind of a good, if you just drop your arms, that's a good posture. And then just make sure your neck is nice and centered right above, right where it's supposed to be. Some people have a habit of tilting it, or if they try to sing high notes, they'll kind of stick their chin up, or low notes, they'll stick their chin down. So just kind of have it relaxed.
Okay.
And today we're going to talk a lot about like being relaxed in your whole body. So as you stand like this, do you feel any tension anywhere in your body?
Maybe I don't know. I feel pretty
Feel
good.
pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I stay like this for a while, it might change.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty good right now.
Good. So sometimes when people start singing, they feel a little bit in their lower back.
Uh-huh.
So if you ever feel that, just kind of wiggle it out.
Okay.
You can bend your knees.
Okay.
A lot of people also feel it in their neck that kind of just tense up. So if you feel that,
Like
wiggle that a little bit. Yeah, shoulders and neck. And the place that I feel it the most is in my throat and in my jaw. And that's something that's really tricky when we're singing, because when we're talking, we just kind of feel natural and normal, so our jaw is just kind of hanging there, and we're using our vocal cords, just we're not even thinking about using them, so our neck is nice and relaxed. But when I start to sing, the first thing that happens is my jaw will kind of lock in place, and I'll feel the need to move it for every single syllable kind of thing. And my throat will do the same thing. It'll kind of try to hold back the air that I'm putting through. So we're going to focus today on relaxing those things, because those things happen with absolutely everybody. So the first thing I like to do is kind of just wiggle my neck around, make sure everything's good. If you need to stretch it out or roll it around. Feel the poppies. And then I kind of touch you can feel where your jaw hinges are. Just kind of massage those a little bit. And kind of wiggle your jaw around. Feel where it falls naturally. So if you're just to open your mouth relaxed, how far down would it open? Probably like 1 or 2 fingers maybe. And kind of feel it wiggle. And sometimes jaws tense up because they're too far out. So if you do feel that jaw tension while you sing, just kind of pretend like you're tucking it in a little bit. Don't actually push it in, because that'll create a lot of weird tension. But like overextend your jaw for me, just so you can feel it, and then just kind of tuck it back in. You feel how it kind of gets relaxed there. So now let's let's drop our jaw to relaxed position, and now let's open it a little bit more. And you feel how it gets a little tenser there? Just kind of think of bringing it in just a little bit. Does that feel better? Okay, so we'll work a lot on that today. So you're doing good. The other thing that happens is the inside of your mouth kind of has to be different for when you sing than when you speak. So my favorite thing to do before I start singing is just kind of remember how that feels. So in your mouth, if you put your tongue right behind your teeth, you feel your hard palate. You feel how it's kind of hard. If you move it back to the back of your mouth, you feel your soft palate. So that when we sing, it likes to go up, and that creates a lot of space. So the sound that's coming out of your mouth can kind of resonate in your mouth before it comes out. So if that's up, it sounds a lot better. So one thing you can do to raise that is lift your eyebrows. kind of goes up automatically without even having to try. And the other thing that we have to worry about is our tongue.
Okay.
Tongue's tricky because it can get in the way of a lot of things.
Now I'm like aware that it's there.
Yeah. Just kind of relax it first. My voice teacher uses a really gross analogy. He says, pretend like it's like a piece of wet, I think he says wet liver or something like that. He might say it differently, and he's probably going to watch this and laugh at me. But just think of it as like a piece of meat just sitting on a table or something like that, just nice and relaxed. And you can put it right behind your bottom teeth. Just kind of let it rest there. Do you feel it relax?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're singing, I know it's going to be hard to think about all these things at once, but don't try and let it like come back. Like pull it back and see how that feels. You feel how much tension that creates?
Yeah.
Like it's automatic tension in your throat and in your mouth. So just think about being relaxed all the time. It's hard to do say not to do something.
Right.
Because the first thing you want to do is do it. So instead of thinking about not tensing up, think about just relaxing.
Okay.
So a good way to make those relax automatically is to pretend it's your birthday and you just open the best present ever and you go, oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, so do you feel how your soft palate goes up, your tongue kind of goes down, and everything, there's just a lot of space in there?
Yeah.
For everything to just, all the sound to just resonate around. So let's do that together and then we'll go, oh, with that space. So.
Okay.
Oh! Yeah! Do you see how much sound you made and how pretty it was? I mean, for an all.
For an all.
Yeah, let's do that a couple more times.
Ah!
Yeah! One more time. Ah! Good! Yeah, so that's always fun to do. And you mentioned when I asked you what you remembered about posture was how to breathe.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So let's talk a little bit about breath right now.
Okay.
Let's look in the mirror and review the non-shoulder moving.
Okay.
So just make sure your posture is nice and relaxed and tall and postury. And then just go ahead and take a nice big deep breath through your stomach. And kind of watch your chest and make sure it doesn't go up and down. Good. Yeah, you're doing really good. Now, try and do that breath again, but try and do it silently. So don't make any noise when you breathe in or out.
Is it better to breathe through my mouth or my nose?
Your mouth.
My mouth.
Yeah, you can take much more air in if you breathe in through your mouth. But that's a really good question.
Okay.
Good. I can't hear it, and I can't see your shoulders moving, so you're doing perfectly.
I'm not breathing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm breathing.
I'm not breathing.
I'm breathing.
Yeah, you're doing good. Do that a few more times just so we can get used to that feeling. Very good. And put your hands on your stomach to see if you can feel it go in and out. Do you feel it going in at all? Or out, I mean. Perfect. All right, so you got that down, it looks like. At least, you know, when you're not singing. It's much harder to put in when you are singing. So now that you know to breathe through your stomach, I mean, everybody knows you breathe through your lungs, not through your stomach, but your stomach, for visual's sake, we're going to talk about how much air to breathe in with. So one of the hardest things, I think it's the hardest thing to do with singing is breathing correctly. And a lot of times I find myself taking in way too much air and preparing too much. So if we look in the mirror again and try to take the biggest breath we possibly can, go ahead and do that with me. What do you feel?
Kind of tension?
Yeah, lots of tension. You feel really tight. Do you feel tight right here?
A little bit, and also here.
A little bit, yeah, a lot here. Do you feel it in your throat at all? So let's do that again so we can feel all those tension spots. Yeah, it's horrible. So you never want to sing through that, because if you sing through that tension, the sound is, I mean, it's just not going to sound good. I don't really know what it'll sound like, but yeah, it's painful. So the first lesson we need to know is that you don't need a ton of air to sing. You just need enough air to get through the phrase, and usually that's just the amount of air that your lungs already have in them. So we're going to kind of experiment with that right now. So I want you to blow all the air out of your lungs. And then just kind of release your stomach. Do you feel it all just kind of flow back in?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it again. And just release. So you didn't even have to breathe in, it just kind of fell back in. It's kind of a vacuum effect when you, when the pressure is so great on the outside of your lungs, when you release that pressure, it just automatically fills it, and the pressure differential just kind of causes the air to just flow back into your lungs. And that's really all we need to sing. Some people like to take bigger breaths, and sometimes that's like a comforting thing to take a really big breath. But if you just have the amount of air that your lungs normally have in, you can probably sing really well on it. So let's do that a couple more times just so you can, I mean, you won't, when you're singing, you won't blow all the air out first. But just so you can kind of feel that feeling of release and then the air flowing in. It's no manual effort to take air in.
Okay.
Good, one more time. Good. So now let's try doing that without blowing everything out. So just kind of fix your posture and be nice and relaxed, and just kind of release and kind of feel that come in. It won't be as much, but you can feel a little bit, right? If you just go like the surprise breath, it kind of just comes right in and you have enough to sing. So let's do that and just do like a lip buzz siren is what we're going to call it.
Okay.
The siren being like, woo, woo, like a police car makes. And lip buzz, we're just going to put a lot of air through our lips and make them vibrate. So, yeah. Okay. So, blow everything out. Don't blow as much out, but release the air out of your lungs. And then release in. Good. So do you feel how that's enough air for you to make that sound? Because that actually takes a lot of breath to make your lips vibrate like that. So you're using a good amount of air doing that. So let's do that a couple more times. Good. Do it a couple of times on your own to get a feel for it.
I feel like I'm bad at making my lips vibrate.
It does take a lot of air. Do you want to do an R instead? Would that help? You want to do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And be careful of your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders aren't moving too much. Very good. Yeah, the R seems to work better. Yeah. Good. That last one I saw your shoulders move just a little bit, so make sure you're breathing with your belly. Good, one more. Yeah. You're picking up things really quick. Very good. We're going to talk even more about breath.
Okay.
That's so exciting.
Keep looking at the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next thing that's really good to know, and I know this is so much at once, I hope I'm not overwhelming you, but you're doing really good, is there's kind of 3 different stages of breathing. So there's inhalation.
Okay.
And then there's a stage called suspension that we haven't really practiced yet. So it's just kind of where the air just sits there. You're not breathing in, you're not breathing out. You're just kind of preparing your body to sing. And that really helps just getting the air moving. It seems counterintuitive to say that your air is going to be helped. The air is going to move more if you hold it first. But it actually really works if you take in a breath, you suspend that breath, and then you let it out. You can have a more controlled release of the air, so the air comes out
smoother?
Yeah, smoother. It kind of, if you think of a stream of air coming out of your mouth instead of just like a big gust of wind.
Yeah, okay.
So it just comes out kind of more controlled. So we're going to practice that suspension phase now. And the tricky part about this is that when you suspend your air, sometimes it's really tempting to hold it in, and that's not what we want to do. So take a breath, and just kind of hold it there. Do you feel how there's kind of tension on your throat? Kind of this sort of the same amount of tension as when we took in too much air.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like you're ready to breathe out, but the air is just kind of being stopped. So we don't really want to do that. So we don't ever want tension.
Okay.
So when we breathe in, we don't want to breathe in too much to create that extra tension. So when we suspend, you want to pretend like you're still breathing in, but not. Does that make sense at all?
I think so.
Kind of subjective, but just pretend with your body that you're still breathing in, but don't actually do it, and you'll kind of get just like a relaxed feeling of like floating, kind of. Try that and see if you can feel that. You feel it at all? Do it a few times so you can feel the difference between holding it back and just kind of letting it float.
Okay.
You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's breathe in together. We'll breathe in for 2 counts. We'll hold it for 2 counts. Suspend it. I don't want to use the word hold.
Okay.
Suspend it for 2 counts, and then we'll blow it out for 2 counts.
Okay.
Okay? So, in, 2, hold, 2, out, 2. In, 2, hold, 2, out, 2. In, 2, hold, 2, out, 2. How does that feel? Do you feel any tension at all when you're breathing?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
It looks good. You're not moving your shoulders or anything. You look, I mean, I can't hear it, I can't see it, so I'm just hoping you're
I know.
It sounds like you are. Let's do that a few more times.
Okay.
Because that concept of suspension is kind of, I think it's really tricky to pick up, but it seems like you're doing really good.
Okay.
All right. In, hold, out. In, hold, out. In, hold, out. All right, this time I want to hear you blow your breath out.
Okay.
So you can kind of go,
Okay.
just kind of make a ooh kind of shape with your mouth and blow it out. Ready? In, hold, out. Good. In, hold it, out. In, hold, out. Good. And this time when you blow out your air, it seems like you're kind of doing this already, but blow it all out, and instead of thinking about breathing in, just let it fill your lungs again, like we were talking about before.
Okay.
So blow everything out first. Now, release, hold, out. Release, suspend, out. Release, suspend, out. Good. How does that feel?
I can tell the difference. Like I can.
You
see.
could?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can kind of just feel your lungs.
Mhm.
Just,
Okay.
Good. You're doing awesome. Now let's do, instead of blowing the air out, let's do the again, the R siren.
And try to blow it all out again.
You won't be able to get, I don't think you'll be able to get as much out, but try to make your R as long as you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. In, suspend.
Sorry, I don't know what I was like thinking of so many things at one time. I was like, I can't. Okay.
That's okay. Just go. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay. In, suspend, out. Good. And try to make
I got my shoulders.
oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, but you caught it, so good job. When you go, try and make, have you heard the word tone before, when it's applied to singing?
Like tone deaf, like that kind of. Like
Sort of, yeah, so a tone is just like the kind of the sound that you hear, so when you hear like, it's kind of a hard term to explain, but when you hear the voice, you have tone, I guess. On that last one, you kind of went.
I see. Okay, like
so your
it was more
arm
just like
had
the air,
volume, but it was more air than tone.
like
So,
that.
Yeah.
Rather
So try
than-
to keep the tone the whole
Okay.
time.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that was the first time, so you did really good. All right.
Side door. Okay.
In, suspend, out. Perfect. Good. In, suspend, out. Good. That one is even better. In, suspend, out. Good. So I'm hearing the first part of your is super clear. It's a great tone, and it's really pretty actually. And then about a second in, it goes, and then you go back to the tone. So I think what's happening is that when you release your breath, it's coming in not a constant stream like we're talking about. So if you can think of when we're thinking about our belly being expanded, pretend there's like a little balloon in there, and when you release it, you're squeezing the balloon. So the air is coming out all in one constant kind of stream. And then I think if you think of that, you'll get that pretty tone all the way down.
Okay. Can I take longer than 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Because I think I was like trying to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I was taking longer than 2 seconds, but I think I was like and then I was like, oh well.
Yeah, just let it go.
Okay,
we won't count anymore.
Okay.
And take as long as you need to breathe in and suspend too. I'm saying the words just to kind of help you. But
no,
if
that's
you want
fine.
to do it at a different tempo, that's totally
That's
fine.
I just wasn't just making sure.
Okay. So just picture that kind of balloon, and if you want to even hold the balloon in front of you, imaginary balloon, and kind of squeeze it when you do the that might help.
Okay.
All right. So breathe in, then suspend, and squeeze your balloon. That was awesome, yeah. That was like, you fixed every single problem. Not that there were that many problems. Okay, good job. Let's do it again.
Okay.
In, suspend, out. Yeah, let's just do that like 5 more times just so you can kind of get that feeling in your body.
Okay.
In, suspend, yeah, and you're going really long too, which means you're using all your breath, you're supplying it very well.
Okay.
So now try and start just a little bit higher on your So
okay.
It doesn't have to be too much higher, but and then kind of try and go down with it. So we're kind of getting like a different pitches.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it with you the first time so you can kind of see what I mean. I don't think I explained that very well. Okay.
No, okay.
Ready? In, suspend. Good. Yeah. All right. Do that again for me.
Okay.
I won't do it with you. Good. So did you hear at the end how it kind of faltered a little bit, kind of wavered a little bit?
Yeah.
So now think about squeezing your balloon again. You're doing good with the pitches. In, suspend. Good. That was better.
But
yeah, it was a little shaky, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it was very consistent. So
Okay.
let's do it a couple more times. I'm sure you'll get it. Good. There's just a little point about a second.
I know. I can tell when I do
But the
it.
rest of it was totally straight and perfect. So you got a hold on it again. Let's do it again. Perfect. Perfect. That was perfect. Let's do it again.
That was
perfect for most of the time.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
you just ran out of breath or your tongue
it
got
just
funky
stopped,
or something.
It just stopped moving.
That's fine.
Stopped vibrating.
That was really good. We've been doing a lot of those. We'll give you a break from these. That was awesome. So now you've kind of got a little bit of a handle on controlling the breath as it comes out, which is really good. You're doing great on your belly breathing. You're doing great on not moving your shoulders. And you've really got a handle on the inhalation, suspension, and then the release. So you're doing really good. You're picking things up really fast. Let me just check the video, make sure everything's still good. We're good. Okay. Let's do a little bit of vocalizing. We're gonna do. We're gonna say be, be, ba, bo, boo. So your vowels are kind of going from wide to tall to round. So be, be, ba, bo, boo. Perfect. And this one, we're gonna think about that inhalation, the suspension, and the release each time, but it's going to be a lot quicker this time. So we're not going to have like 2 seconds to do each of them. We're going to go beep beep bop bop boo, beep beep bop bop boo. Yeah, so it'll be real quick. But and the first ones you might not get all 3 stages at once, but that's okay. We're going to do a lot of them.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Beep beep bop boo.
about try not to take in quite as much air, because this is a really short exercise, so you're not using as much air. Like for the R, you use pretty much your whole tank capacity. Of air. Yeah, your whole air capacity. So lung capacity. So this time, don't take in quite as much air. You're doing good.
Okay.
Just think of kind of the natural air that your lungs have in it already, and then, but still think of the suspension phase. That part's still really important. Okay, ready? Good.
I was trying to think about not taking as much air, but I don't know if I did it very well. But is there like a reason for, like, is it just because the notes are short? I mean, because like you said, it is shorter. Yeah. But like, is it bad to take in more breath than?
I think the only reason you don't want to take in too much breath is because, like I said, you're not releasing as much. So if you keep taking in more breath, you're going to get that tension.
Okay, that makes sense. Because
your lungs are already going to be filled, and then you're going to take another breath in, and you're just going to kind of start getting tight everywhere.
Okay.
But you need to take as much breath in as you feel like you need to sing. So,
okay.
I think you did a good job. That's a tricky.
Okay, because I was
tricky exercise.
Trying to focus.
No, yeah, I was making you think.
No,
a million things at once. We're gonna do a little easier one now.
No.
So this one, it's kind of fun. I like it.
Okay.
You go. Ooh. So you're just on an ooh vowel, and you're just kind of sliding up and sliding back down.
Okay.
And you don't have to focus too much on the slide, but
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And remember last time we talked about like a pucker shape? Good. But be careful not to let your jaw get tense. Okay. This one's really hard. When you think of, sometimes when people think about vowel shape, they like make sure. Yeah. So just when you make your ooh vowel, just kind of think about relaxing your jaw and kind of just letting it tuck back in on its own.
Okay.
Does that feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you feel tense, just kind of wiggle it around a little bit.
Okay.
Or whatever you need to do. Tense right in the middle of warm-ups. You're doing good. Let's go right here.